Hi, guys. Here we are in beautiful Nelson, New Zealand at the Piopa Retreat. It is phenomenal here and very excited to be here today. Lots of stuff going on around the world, right, Kenneth?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not in beautiful New Zealand, but it's okay. And we're in beautiful Phoenix. So Jessamine11 says, "Welcome to New Zealand, Lynette. So lovely to have you here."
Well, I love the people here. The country is absolutely spectacular. They do not allow any GMO here. So that's why I'm eating corn like nobody's business because I don't get to eat it in the US. It's all GMO, or most of it is GMO. And so thank you so much for hosting me here because it's just, I love it so much. Yesterday, we got to go to the Abel Tasman National Forest or Reserve, and it was just stunningly beautiful. Stunningly beautiful. The black sand beaches, then the golden sand beaches. And I mean, it was quite magnificent. So thank you for having me here. I love it here. This is my second time. It will
Yeah.
not be my last. I'll come back again.
She'll come back just for the corn. She will.
I couldn't have timed it more perfectly.
I know, right? Peak growing season for it over there. And we have from Lifelong Learner Lady, thinking about how to prep for fleeing across border like refugees.
Mhm.
What is better, a Glint card or 1 gram Valcambi gold bars? I feel like bars could be stolen by gatekeepers.
You know, the strategy is really built in layers, right? And so I think you need both because what if the Glint card doesn't work? That is definitely a possibility. And there are, so it can be, Val can be, it can be jewelry, it can be small fractional pieces of gold. You know me, I like the pre 33s because I feel safer and more comfortable with them. But there are a number of ways. But yeah, I would do both physical as well as something on the Glint card. And I'm okay with Glint because it's redeemable, but you also want to make sure that it worked. Because I can tell you here when I'm using my cards, some of them they want and some of them they don't want. And I have physical as well. So I have everything.
Yeah, no, I think that is a great point of the layers of the strategy. Um, Knowing that we want to look at every possible outcome and to be able to account for that with when you're talking about, if you feel that you need to prepare for leaving where you're at, how are you going to take that wealth with you and make sure that it stays on your person and usable, right? Because you need to have it to be able to use it. And yeah, having both is a great way to kind of hedge against either scenario. And then we have Nathan Patel 1786 says, "Why bother with gold bullion / coins and just buy pre 1933 gold vaulted?"
So why bother? Well, personally, I don't do any gold bullion. I do have some of my pre 33, well, in a vault, right? In my name, but it's a private vault. So I think it's really important to distinguish between a private vault and a bank vault, not a bank vault at all, but a private vault because then that vault is still in your name. So legally, you own what's in it, not the vault. So, yeah, I mean, why buy bullion? I want those additional layers of protection because desperate governments do desperate things. And so I want to be in the same category as the guys that write the laws or can influence the ones that write the laws. So I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it comes down to. Like you've said multiple times, well, what if we're right and what if we're wrong? If we're right
Mhm.
and you're holding your wealth in the safest form possible, then the strategy has done its duty. If we're wrong, you're still holding real, tangible, physical wealth in your possession that's in a long term, positive, upward trend. And so you've just hedged your bets on all sides.
And I'd like to add on the fundamental value piece, regardless of what that contract, that spot contract is doing. I don't care what you're looking at, understanding the true fundamental value of it, because that's where it's going to ultimately go,
Right.
helps you absorb any of the fees, the costs, all of that, because you're buying it so severely undervalued. This is critical to understand. And I will be when I get home. I'm not going to do it on my vacation because I really need to rest a bit. But when I get home, I've gotten to see some holes that I need to fill.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the one of the best things about the strategy too is we're taking into account everything from
Mhm,
any
mhm.
taxes and fees that the system might impose on you for extracting that wealth out of the danger zone, and being able to come out on the other side whole. You know.
Yep. And actually more than whole in a much better potentially. It depends on, what you've done, but in a much better position than you were on the way in. This is our opportunity to have our wealth transfer our way.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly.
What a
Wealth never
concept.
disappears. It just
Hands,
changes
right?
hands. Right.
That's it. Let's have a change into our hands for a change instead of into the one percenters' hands.
Yeah.
Public, take our power back.
Absolutely. Then we have Ramon M196 says, "What's up, Kenneth? One of your clients right here from Arizona. Just wanted to say hi and love all the information you guys are spreading."
That's awesome. You're doing a good job, Kenneth. I mean, really, our whole team, we really want to make a positive difference in this world. That's one of the prerequisites to be at Zang International. And so you're a great example of that. And I appreciate doing this so we can actually continue the lives when I'm gone.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And yeah, hi, Ray. It's good to see you. Hope everything's been going good for you. And yeah, we got a good strategy set up for Ray. So it's good.
Awesome.
Mhm. And then we have Sheridan Forbes 3480 said $8 to $9 a gallon in California and $4 to $6 a gallon on the East Coast.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know, welcome to inflation. What can I tell you? What's it around Phoenix now? I know we saw it over $5 a gallon before we left.
Yeah, it's depending on where you're at. I saw it like high fives yesterday in parts of the valley. Other parts you can maybe find it for low fives or high fours, but um, it really is one of those things where when gas prices are low, you really realize how the average everyday person is just trying to get by, because any increase in that fuel price, it really does affect the everyday working family. And I mean, $9 a gallon or $8 a gallon for fuel is, I part of me wonders if that's part of like a plan that they have to get people to be like, well, this is why you should go electric, or I don't know.
Well, no, that industry has kind of been knocked to its knees, at least in the U.S.
Yeah.
too, hasn't it? But
Yeah.
I have a hybrid, and I'm glad that I do. So I've got a combination of the two. But these fuel prices, these energy prices are trickling into, like we said earlier, every single area. So those people that were marginal, this is the importance of coming together in community and creating that surety in food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, that community piece, the most important piece, and shelter, right? If you're growing your food or you're helping somebody grow your food, so go to a farmer's market, find out who's creating your food, give them some labor, give them some of your time. You'll learn skills. And guess what? I mean, if somebody helps us, they go home with a whole bunch of produce. So, food is the single biggest issue for people as we go through these transitions. but people are squeezed. I mean, if you have to borrow for easy payments to feed your family, that's a real problem. That's a real, and that was before these prices went up like this. And you said food prices, you saw them double?
Yeah, that's what they had said for a farmer's market in the UK. Somebody had put that out. They went up double in the last week.
See the importance of growing your own food? And sprouting seeds. This is a great form of nutrition because you can keep a whole lot of seeds if you're like in a condo or a small space and you can't grow anything. Get some sprouting seeds. Keep them in your freezer. Your rinse off broccoli is the most nutritious one. You rinse it off 3 days later, you have live food. So, if you didn't understand the importance of it before, please understand it and see it now while you can still get those sprouting seeds. They don't take up much space and they could save your life, really.
Yeah.
It's important. Community is important. It really is the single most important thing that you can do is coming together to get sound money back in the system again, but to help create that surety in all of those mantra areas is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lynette, would you say that for somebody who maybe is just starting with the mantra, maybe they've just
Mhm,
discovered the channel, that the
mhm.
first step that you would have them take is maybe get to know somebody in their community that grows food or a farmer's market, go down there and make those connections?
Exactly, and community gardens are another great place to start. I would say that I don't know how many people in my personal neighborhood even know what I do because I don't really talk about it, and I'm actually not that friendly. I'm gonna be honest about it because 'cause I'm so busy, I'm just working all the time. But what they do know is that they can come and pick a pomegranate, a zucchini, every year around Christmas time. I have find these little gifts to thank me for, whatever it was, the produce that they took. So, there might be an urban farmer in your neighborhood. Get to know them, right? That's all you really have to do is food is the biggest issue. Either create your own, get to know who creates your own, give them some of your time, but create that community. Because in community, you have a lot of different voices, so you can have a lot of conversations that are rich, but everybody brings the gifts that they have been given. And every single person on this planet has a gift that they can share. You may not realize it, but come together in community, have these conversations. You're going to find where your gift is and what you can do. But everybody does have it, and community is arguably the single most important thing that we talk about. Honestly, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We have Mithun Kananpathy 3043. Are we seeing a temporary bull run for the precious metals, or do you believe the metals should continue to rise slowly?
Well, I would prefer if they would continue to rise slowly, but I don't think that that's my choice. And there is not one little teeny weeny doubt, not one doubt in my mind about the long term and short term trend. Well, short term, they can continue to manipulate the markets with the contracts because it costs nothing to control 500 ounces of gold. That's virtually nothing. But most definitely, it is a long term positive trend because you look at the purchasing power of the consumer dollar. That is in a long term negative trend, and inflation erodes that value even more quickly. Do they want you to know that? No, they don't want you to understand that. They want you to think you have no choice, but you do have a choice. And so they have to manipulate the markets because once you have physical gold and silver in your possession, you're out of their ability to control other than the visual, which is what those contracts are about. Thank you guys so much for showing up. And thank you, Kenneth, for doing this because you didn't have to do it. But I know that Everybody at Zang International wants to be of service and make this world a better place. And if you see me here in New Zealand, come on up. I'm going to give you a dime card and say hello. So until next week, we are all of us. I know that the company is in very good hands. If you give us a call, we're still, I may be here, but everybody else is there. And until next we meet, we can make a positive difference. We can get sound money back in the system, the global monetary system, so the public takes their power back. Why in the world would you let them keep this power and continue to abuse you? Not okay. Let's take our power back. And until next we meet, please, wherever you are in the world, be safe out there. Bye bye.